Okay, so have you started?
Yeah, I think
Yes,
so.
yes.
Okay, so welcome, guys. As we said earlier before, this is just a group set up to help us brush on our experiences on cloud. So quickly, I'm going to share my screen and show you quickly what I have put down. And sorry, I'll start with the. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Great. So uh, this is a website, and this was one of the. This is the challenge we are working on. This is the District of Columbia Health Benefit Exchange Authority case study, and if you look in 2015, sorry, they had a challenge, and I itemized. I was able to read this to extract the problem, and then they had a solution listing various AWS services that they used to solve the problem, and the benefits of that is also captured. And so this is just this. This is a real life issue with a government authority in the U.S. Now, if you go back to, let me click. So this is, I can share I'll share this link again. This is the website where you find um, all the customer stories. So you can do your filtering by yourself because I won't be the only one talking. After this, someone else will do their own project and teach us. And then you filter, and whatever comes out, you pick a project you think you like, and then you do the same too. So let me copy this link and paste it on the group. Uh, all right, so that's done. Okay, so let's go. Um, I'll quickly now share. Let me share the. So can you guys see this?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Okay, so the problem was that they had commercial off-the-shelf softwares. That is, they were basically on-prem, right? And they were using off-the-shelf softwares that were very expensive, running to hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars, because of the complexity and all that. And it took them between 6 to 12 months or longer, So what I will do here is I'm going to paste this. I did this already, but if you don't mind, I'll just paste it again. And then, so, if you want to look through it, fine. But so the solution was that they migrated, they went to cloud, right? And they moved from on-prem to cloud. And this was the strategy. All this will be available for you to read, and all this was extracted from what I showed you on AWS. And the services used, in the following order. I put it in this order, but they were all listed there also: VPC, RDS, IAM, EC2, S3, Macy, and Route 53. Also was included Cloud Formation, but I didn't want to put that because um, I wanted us to go through this thing manually. So we're going to start. So this is, all that I put together. The last time today I went back to. That's why I said today is going to be dense. All the steps of each of these um, resources, these services, how to and integrating all of them together to achieve what those people achieved. So let's go. Let's start. So the first one is VPC, right? We're going to start with VPC. So I'll go. Let me change my screen. Okay. So you guys can see my screen now on AWS. I'll go to VPC. So the first thing we need to do is to create a VPC. We're trying to build the foundation where all our resources, most of our resources, will be deployed. So we click our create our VPC. I know some people have been using this VPC and more, which is the simpler part, but I learned by using this. So I will deploy the VPC because I've already done that, but we'll just go through the process quickly. So step one, go to my VPC only, right? Give it a name, HDX VPC. We'll choose an IPv4 CIDR block. And let's just take a simple one, which is 10.0.0 .0 slash, let's see, 16. Let's leave it there, right? And then tenancy will be involved. So what choose your tenancy affects the kind of instance that you will have. So if you put dedicated here, you will have a dedicated instance. So we'll leave it there. So I think that's basically it. The name already, we have a tag here with a name. So we create a VPC. So that has been done, right? We'll go back. We create our subnets, which has already been done also. But yeah, we'll go to create subnet. And you know why I'm going through all this like this? Because the steps are listed in that document that I will also share. So we'll select the VPC that we just created, which was in this, the one I did last time was this case study VPC. We select the VPC, right? And then we give our subnet a name, which is, let me just say HDX. HDX is the company, VPC, and then we'll create a public subnet. You know, we can decide to leave the availability zone blank, and so that it can choose for us. But I can just put US East 1A. Remember, I am on the US East 1 region. And then we put our CIDR block, which is a subset of our VPC CIDR. So this is the current one, right? So all I just need to do is to do 194.168.1.0 slash 24. You see, that's the CIDR block already. So I've done that, right? I can decide to add another subnet, maybe make this one private if I want. So, and then at the end of the day, I hit my create subnet. If I'm adding another subnet, since I've taken this CIDR number, I can't provision this again. I'll come here, I'll pick 194.168.2.0 slash 24. So while the first one is 1.0, this is 2.0. So that's it, so that there's no conflict. So we're done. So we create our subnet. We come to our internet gateway, which I've already done. We hit create internet gateway. We give it a name, HDX internet gateway, and then we create our internet gateway. All right, it's all inside the VPC. Once we are done, we select our internet gateway and we attach. Now this is attached. That's why it's showing detach. We attach. When we click attach, then it will show us our VPC that we already created, or a list of VPCs, and then we pick the one that is required, and we click attach, and that's it. So the VPC will be attached. The internet gateway will be attached to the VPC. This is the one we are going to use, the case study internet gateway. And if you look at this, it's already attached to the case study VPC. I've done that already. So we come back to our route tables once that is done, and then we create a route table. You know, this is where all the this is where you create your routes and your subnet associations. Anyway, so we create our route table, right? HDX route table. We put it in a VPC, which is the one we provisioned, and then we hit create route table. I'm canceling it because I already did that. And then we come to the route table itself once we're done, and we go to subnet associations. See, I already associated the public subnet with. Sorry?
I'm lost.
You are lost? Tell me, where did you stop? Where did you get lost?
The VPC. Sorry, I'm too loud.
Okay. No, okay, don't worry. You know, when we are done, we'll get this video, and you can now, go back and forth, and I'm sure you will get it. You know, I'm sure you will get it. Okay.
The VPC, are we indicating the public or private, or is not necessary?
Indicating what?
Like, are we indicating it as public? Sorry, the subnet. Sorry, subnet.
Yes, the subnet. If you want it to be public facing, then you enable it. For example, this is a subnet for like a database. If I want it to be, let me check if it's public facing or not. You select the subnet, you come to actions, and you come to edit subnet settings. Once you do that, you see it's private facing. You come to auto assign IP settings. If I click here, immediately this subnet will become a public facing subnet. But because it by default, the database created this subnet and made it a private subnet. That's why you're not seeing this check. So all public subnets, once you create your subnet, if it's not public, you do what I just did. You select the subnet, you go to actions, you go to edit subnet settings, and you come here and you check this box. That makes once you do that, the subnet becomes a public subnet. So for private subnets, you go there, if it's checked, you uncheck it so that it becomes a private subnet. So that's about how you do that. So let's go to our route tables, right? As we went before, we click the route table.
Question.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, when you in creating your subnet, why did you choose that 194 dot whatever as decider? Decider block.
As your CIDR. Yeah, because the
Yes.
public CIDR blocks, they are between a particular range, public CIDR blocks, they're between a particular range for the public, So once I just want to get to the place where you'll be able to see, there are certain CIDR blocks that are for very large companies and all that. Nobody goes there. But I think from one, let me see. You know what I will do? I have that information, but I can't put my hands on it, and I don't want to start digging into the internet.
No, I
right?
don't want to draw us back. Sorry for pardon my curiosity. I don't know. I joined. Sorry, I don't want to sound like conversation or something.
You understand?
Please, it's recorded. Please, let's carry on, please.
Okay.
Okay,
So
no
we'll move on. I'll sort that one with you later. Don't worry. So.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Our route table, right? We just want to associate our subnet, right? So we go to our subnet, right? You click edit subnet associations, then you pick your subnets that you want. Remember, this route table we just created is a public one. So you put all your public subnets there, you just select them and they will appear here. See, take this one out, you see it's off. Put it back, it will appear there. And that's all you need to do, and then you click Save Associations. It's already done, so I'll cancel. So once you are done with that, you now edit your routes. You come here to your routes. We just left here now, so you come here to your routes, and then you edit routes. You remember we created an internet gateway, and I'll remove this. So this is your default environment when you come to your route. Anything that is coming into this VPC, these are VPC CIDR, target the local host. That is target any of the resources inside the VPC, subnets, whatever you have there. That's it. But what about anything that is going out, right? If the destination is out, what do we do? If your EC2 is targeting, it wants to go out to get access to the internet. So we now select target your internet gateway, because that's where you can reach the internet. That's the resource that can take you out there. So that's it here, right? We select our internet gateway and we save changes. So the routes are created now. That's it with route tables. We'll be using that gateway and all that. The next thing is to come to our security group. Security group is a firewall for your instances, for your servers, right? While NACL, this one is a firewall for your subnets. Then your network firewall, this network firewall is a firewall for your VPC. But we're looking at security group. So we come here, I've already created a security group the last time we met, so I didn't delete it. So you click create security group, right? You give it a name, security group. We want to allow SSH on port 22 and HTTP on port 80, and then you select the VPC that you want your security group to be provisioned. So we go to this particular one that we created, our VPC. You see that VPC is like this network is like the foundation. So we are done. And then once we can decide to just add our inbound rules here if we want, but let's just do that. So we add our inbound rules. We come to SSH because those are the two things we want to open, right? SSH is a TCP protocol that accesses that uses port 22, and then the best AWS best practices recommendation is to use your IP. Select my IP to pull out my computer, my internet, my private, my own IP now. It will pull it out, right? So it's supposed to pull it out. That's it. So nobody else can SSH into the server. But we're not going to do that. Let's use from IPv4 from anywhere. And then we add another rule, and then we go to HTTP. It's by default port 80, and we'll do the same thing, right? And that's it. What we would have done, there's another one we'll add for where we're going to create a database, and by default database port is 3306. So we'll add another rule, and we'll come to protocol for database, which is my SQL Aurora, and it will give you 3306 by default, and then you can target. You can also put this from anywhere. So this is what we'll do now. And I think that's it. For our outbound rule, it is just we just open it up. So we click create security group. So I cancel because we already did it before. Okay, so we are done, right? Let's go back to let me go back to so creating the VPC, right? So I said, go to your VPC console, click create your subnet. I just showed you what to do there. Create and edit your subnet settings, to make it a public facing subnet if that's what you want. Create your internet gateway and attach it to your VPC. Create your route table associations to your subnet and update your route tables, and create your security group allowing port 22.8, port 80, and port 3306. We are done with the VPC. So our networking is done. So go to RDS next. We need to create I said we provisioned MySQL to serve as our database collection resource for customers. This database will be enabled for backup to S3 because S3 is part of the stuff. We'll back it up on S3. So let's go to RDS. So this is the procedure for RDS, but we'll go there. Right? I'll post it. Okay, so we were at VPC, so let's move on to RDS.
Can you take that
so,
again? Sorry.
Sorry?
The security group, please. Just take it again.
Okay, so first I'll create one. In fact, let me just create one so that you would create security group. I'll give you this name that I've always been giving it, HDX, which is the company name actually, security group. Allow SSH on port 22, HTTP on port. You can leave this place blank. I'm just so that anybody that picks your security group can see can know what is in your inbound rules. That's why you're just putting that description. My SQL on port 3306. Select the VPC. This is the VPC we want. Go to our inbound rules. Security group, they are stateful. They are what we call stateful resources. Once you allow anything come in, it will also allow the thing go out. See, so in the server level, that's what it does. But your subnet and network access control is stateless. That something gets in does not mean it will go out. So you need to open you need to open both sides for your subnet settings. But for security group, this is just it. So SSH port 22, we click anywhere for now. But best practices is you use your IP. If you're working in an organization, then there will be a common network IP that everybody they'll set so that anybody can SSH. So that's that. But for now, we leave it at anywhere IPv4, right? Then we'll add two more rules. One will be for HTTP, port 80 by default, and we'll allow from anywhere for now. And we'll go to MySQL/Aurora 3306, same thing, and that's it. Outbound is as your server going out to the internet. Just allow it on anywhere so that you don't need to touch it, right? And then we click create security group. So basically, that's it. So we've created our security group. That's it here. And all these inbound rules come to inbound rules. You see that all we created, they are all here. You know, if you come to outbound rule, it's just one rule there, and that's okay. So if you come to your security group, you'll see the name, you see the ID, you'll see the VPC where we created it in. It has 3 permissions, inbound, 1 permission, outbound. Okay, so we are done. I'll delete this because really I don't need it.
But we are not charged for
just. Sorry?
Are we charged?
Charge? No, the only thing you are charged for is compute and storage. Those are the main things, the things you have to be wary of. Okay, so we are done with VPC. Let's go to RDS. And I already have a database because it takes about 10 minutes or so for this thing to be provisioned. So, but we'll go through the steps of creating a database. We'll go, once you are in the you get to your dashboard, right? You hit create database. and it will open up for you. Oh, why is it there's a lot of delay? Okay, so it's up. So we'll do the standard create. So because it has more options, what we are going to use is MySQL, right? We'll click MySQL, and anything you do, just click this info option. You don't know, click for it to come out here, and you can read and just get to know what it is. So we'll click MySQL, right? We'll leave the version. This is the latest one of MySQL. We'll leave it there. We won't take the production grade, right? We won't take dev test because it will cost money. We'll go for the free tier. Because of that, we will not have the option of availability and durability. That is multi-AZ, multi-DB, clusters, and all that. It will disable it now. So we'll select the free tier. Yes.
Okay.
So because it's free. Sorry?
Please, quick question, please. May I know why you chose
that?
May I know why you chose MySQL? Is there any reason for that?
Let's go back. Let's see. I don't know. I think I just picked that because I feel that it's the most used. RDS. I mean database. SQL database.
Okay. You know why I said that? In interviews, I've done some couple of SQL interviews. Most of the time when they're asking for SQL question, I don't know if that is going to be asked here. I'm just saying, please. So what they usually ask for Postgres. That is the one they usually use in interviews. So I don't know if I'm correct, but as in that is for a different job role, not anything that has to do with cloud, please. As I don't want anybody to quote me is the reason why I'm saying that. But Postgres is what they use. Then me, I'm more conversant, and I think if you go to if you go on YouTube for SQL project and everything, they use SQL database more. That's my opinion anyway. So that is the reason why I'm asking. Please, thank you.
Yeah, I get you. And at least you've given me a challenge, or you've given us a challenge, because I think all of us will go back and start researching on that, so we can broaden our learning, our scope. Good point. So here, this is tricky here now.
Hello.
So we are here.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. Excuse me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry that I'm actually cutting in. I wanted, because I didn't get what she asked and later what you said. So before you said you have to go and research on it. So I said, let me call so you can.
Right, you coming?
Yes, I'm inside now.
Okay. No, I just said we are using MySQL for this project. You understand? There is Postgre here. There is Aurora. Like all this, these ones. Now this one, it costs some money. Oracle and all that. So, but I'm just using MySQL. Later, I said I was going to go and research on this. In fact, just this. On all these MongoDB and just know it. That's the job. So for this, we're going to use this MySQL, and I said we're going to choose free tier so that we won't incur costs, and then it will disable our options here because it's free tier. Yeah.
Yeah, just a quick one. I mean, from my tiny data science and analytics knowledge, I would want to think, I mean, mostly there's not too much distinction between the different databases. I think it's sometimes down to the preferences or popularity of usage, like you have said. Mostly MySQL and Microsoft SQL is one of the most popular. And that's probably down to reason for choice, because even the syntaxes are almost the same, and in some cases, tiny bit of differences from. So the most popular MySQL, Postgres, and Microsoft SQL, talking about the relational database, except you're now talking about you're dealing with large data, and then you can look for something different. So I think it's probably based on preference or popularity of usage and all of that, maybe. Or even the vendors that they patronize for other functions. So if you patronize Microsoft for majority of your function, you might want to use Microsoft SQL, that's TSQL. I just wanted to add that if that would help at all.
Thank you very much for, this is why we're all here. Nobody knows it all. We are all men brainstorming, so that's good. So let's go back again. Standard, create. We'll pick any of these.
Yeah.
Sorry?
My whole opinion, I think why we use the mind sequence is 5 times faster than the, oh my God. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. 5 through the other one. I think most people do use it.
Okay, so you want me to start start again, right? On my skill. Okay. All right. So there's some noise. There's some noise. So all right. Okay. So let's go. So we come to the dashboard of RDS. Right. We started from VPC. We created a VPC on all the network. We come to RDS now, and we go to standard. We pick any of these. In this case, we're picking these, and right, and then we disable. We select free tier because and then it will disable this stuff here because we won't have access to that on free tier. We give it a name, just HDX DB, right? It comes with a master under credential settings. You have a master username and a master password. I leave mine as admin by default. Then I choose a password. I have a password already there, and I just enter the password again.
Sorry, we can't see your screen.
You are not seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Ah. Okay. Let me show you.
Okay, great.
You can see the screen now?
Yes, we can see it. Thanks.
So after the free tier area, we'll come down to DB settings. We give it the DB a name, the database. We'll go to credential settings. We'll give it by default, you see admin and then a password, but I changed the password just to, not to forget. Then, so we do that, and I confirm the password again. And then the instance class, that is behind your database, there is an instance that powers it. So I don't want to incur costs on this. So I'll select include previous generation classes. And then I take 22 micro, right? We'll leave the storage, anything more than 20, is it 30 gig, you start paying for storage fees. So I'll make it 20. You enable auto scaling. If we go back to if we go back to this challenge, you will notice here that, are you guys seeing this screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Okay, you see here that it says it code up, it says system capacity was low, resulting in system timeouts and other obstacles to enrollment, right? So using using RDS and EC2, they were able to scale their resources. So I'm just showing you that because here we are going to enable auto scaling so that when a lot of people come into the system to log in their details and register, it will not crash. There will be no timeouts. This is one of the benefits of AWS, right? So, but I'm not going to do that here because this is in, right? Do not connect to EC2 because we'll do it later. So we'll leave it at IPv4, right? Our virtual, this is now our connectivity, our networking area, right? We'll pick our VPC. It's already by default, it has even picked it. So we'll pick that VPC we created, that's why we needed to start with the VPC, and then by default, it will create a lot of subnets for itself to do its own thing. Under public access, keep your database private. So we'll leave the default as no. We don't want it to be private, to be public. You have to get to it through our application server. So the firewall, this is the firewall now for, that's our security group. So we choose an existing one. We don't want to use the default. We'll choose the one we created, the security group we created. And that's it. We leave availability zone empty. It will provision it to wherever it wants. Additional configuration, very important. You see, this is that network port that we created in the security group 3306. Leave it, except you want to create a port by yourself. Then you also need to go to your security group and give it the exact number, the exact port that you created. And so we move on from that. We leave it at password authentication. You'll see this later when we log into the database. And additional configuration. Here is very important. This initial database name, this is the actual name for the database. I'm scrolling up just for us to, this is not the database name. You understand, when we first started. This is not the database name. When you go to the end now, right, when you see additional configuration, this is the database name. So we're going to give it a name, DDD. Let me just put a name that you can remember. The three things you have to remember here is this database name and this master pass username and the password. Any other thing will come after we create the database, right? So we are done with this. If you want to back up your database, it will back it up, to S3 if you want. I don't want to back it up for now for this purpose, right? So I think that's it. We can now hit create database, but I'll cancel because I already created a database. It will take a while for it to provision. I don't want us to waste time on that. So let's go back to our project write-up and let's see where we are. So we've been able to create. Yes, you see it now. Are you seeing it?
Like, did you connect to EC2 when the connectivity on the?
No, we are not there yet. We're not there yet. If you look at our strategy, what we are doing here, the AWS services that the company use, which is we are doing exactly what they did. They use the VPC, but I put it in this order. You understand? In the website, they didn't put it in this order. I put it in this order because I know you need to have a VPC, a network created. Then I know it takes time to provision an RDS. So I wanted to do it first. While that is provisioning, we'll go to IAM and empower our EC2 to be able to talk to S3, right? We'll create a bucket later, but we'll go to IAM and do that. So that's why I put it in this order. So we are done with VPC, but let's look at the VPC steps. They are all here, all the things we just talked about. They are here, and you also get it. So the next step is for us to go to IAM. We'll create, I put here, we created an inline policy and a role so EC2 can access S3. So now we'll go and create, we'll go and follow this process now. So let's go to, S3. Are we seeing the screen?
I'm seeing.
Yes.
You're seeing the screen?
Yes, it's showing Amazon RDS, yeah.
Okay, so let's go, let's continue. So we go to IAM. So this is my IAM dashboard, right? So the first thing we need to do is to create a policy. And you hit create policy. We can either use a JSON do it in JSON format, which is more difficult anyway, or the regular one. So we choose a service. Regularly, what we want is EC2 because that's what, sorry, not EC2, S3. Great. So for now, I don't want us to, it will be up to you to go deeper into this. But we can go into each of these list read, tagging, right, and all that, and just select the particular permission we want, which is the recommended best practice. You give the least permission that by default, that's the recommended practice. So, but I'm going to hit all. So we select everything, right? And so I'm hitting all, right? And then let me just look quickly. Okay, so we'll hit next tags. That's the next, sorry. We'll hit next again. Sorry. There are queries to choose a resource. Sorry. Okay, you select all the resource because I want to give full access. Right. So we'll hit next. We'll just continue. No need, I don't want to put tags. Right. So we hit create policy, but I've already created the policy, so I don't want to create policy again. So we'll give it a name regularly and all that description, then you hit create, but I've canceled it. So that's creating a policy, right? And then you can attach it to a user. When you attach it to a user, it's called an inline policy. So we can go to users, right? I can pick this user, right? And select it. And then you come here to add inline policy. When you hit add inline policy, you can now choose search for the one you created, right? The one you already created. But I've already, I've attached it actually to this particular user. So when you search the one you created, you just, you click review to take you to review, and then you add the policy to that user. So I'm canceling this. So once you are done with the user, you come to security credentials. If you notice, you see that the one I created, this is it here, I've added it. Yeah, I'm sure there are other ones. So you come to security credentials here, right? And we scroll down to create access key. I'll deactivate this one. And delete. And I'll create a new one. Automatically, it will create a new one for me, right? So I'll download the .csv file so I can have it. And once that's downloaded, I can close this. So that's it. We are done with the user area. This is to give the user permission to use that same S3 policy that we created so that the user can use it. We will also assign that same policy to EC2. So that means we'll come here to the roles. So we'll create a role for EC2 to be able to use that same policy to access S3. You come to create role. After you select role here, you come here to create role. The service we are going to work on is, we're going to be using is AWS service, and the service is EC2, right? And that's it. We'll click next, and then you can look for the policy you created. We created this policy. There are other ones I created here. You select whatever policy you want to create. Let me see. Okay, so it's not even coming out. Well, I have a policy like that. I don't want to start wasting time looking for it. So, and I have attached it already to the EC2. This is how you do it. You come to roles, then you click create policy, and then the policies pop up. The one you already created, you search for it, you select it, right? And then you click next, and then you add to it. If you want to add permissions, boundaries, set permission boundaries, so that, I as a user will not just go and add other policies to myself. This is where you can do that, but that's not what we are doing now. So I'll cancel because I've already done that. So with this, we are done with IAM. With this, we are done with it. So the next thing is for us to go to Amazon S3, right? And create a bucket. So I said we will deploy S3 as a secure file storage resource, and S3 will be a secure location resource for customer document and RDS MySQL database backup. So creating our S3 bucket, right? I'll go there straight. So this is S3, right? This is our S3 bucket. This is the dashboard. So we go to create bucket. We'll give it a bucket a name. Don't take capital letters. So right, and then we provision it in a particular, S3 has a global console. I said it last time, 2 days ago, which means it's global. Any name you put here is a global name. It's like your email. You can't have the same email in a particular provider twice. So as long as AWS is concerned, you can have two buckets, but the bucket will eventually be provisioned in a region. So though S3 is global by the console, it is regional when it comes to the bucket. So we are already at our default US East 1. So we go ahead. We don't want the bucket to be public. If we want, we can enable. This is one thing you can go back and enable or disable. So we don't bother about that, and that's it. So we create bucket. I've created a bucket before, so I'll cancel. So if you go to buckets, you see this is the last one I just did. I can delete that. You see I've created this HBX migration bucket already. So the bucket. We'll move on to the next EC2 instances. So our EC2 instance, I said we leveraged on the low-cost third-party software, on an Amazon Marketplace. And I said you can also deploy a WordPress application in your server manually. So we're also going to go through these steps. Yesterday or 2 days ago, we looked at deploying through AWS Marketplace, which is very simple, but it's not, to me, it's not helpful because you won't really know when things go wrong. You won't know where to go. You don't know how to troubleshoot. So I want us to do it manually. So let's go. Okay, so we hit launch instances. Okay, we give it a name. Right. If we had to do the marketplace on, this is where we would have come. When you come here, you get to AWS Marketplace and you choose whatever you want. These are third-party AMIs that already have all the softwares installed, right? So, but I don't want to go there because I want us to do this thing manually. That's how we learn better. And 64-bit, fine. T2 micro. Sorry?
Can't see your screen.
You are not seeing the screen?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
I can see your screen.
Sorry, am I?
Can you see my? You can see my screen. Okay. So we are here at the, you click launch instances, right? And then you come here, you give it a name, and these are your AMIs. That's why you see Amazon Machine Image AMI. And then if you come here, you can access Amazon AWS Marketplace and Community. If you come here, you see that their solution was, one of the things in their solution was that they went to search for third-party software through the AWS Marketplace. That's why I'm bringing that, right? So, but we're not going to do that because we want to be able to, it's an easy route. So we provision our server by ourselves, T2 micro with picker, key pair, and then under network settings, we click edit. We choose our VPC, the one we created. Remember, see, this is a private subnet. You see here that there is no IP address, it's disabled. So we have to go to the one that we know we created, the public subnet we created. We want our server to be public facing. So you see it has turned to enable. Then under our security group for our server, we click create. I select existing security group because we already did that when we were provisioning the VPC. So we'll go and look for that security group. That's it there. So storage 8 gig, that's okay. Advanced settings, we click that and we scroll down a little bit. IAM instance profile. You see, we went to IAM and we created a role for EC2, you remember? So now is the time to bring it in so that it will be launched with the EC2. We'll now scroll, look for our IAM. That's it, my S3 full access. We select that, and that's about it. We won't do any bootstrapping right now. So we click launch instance. Instance is, and so we just wait for it, wait for it to come up. Okay, so it's running. Just refresh again. So we are helping HDX now. That's what we're all doing here. We're helping them build their transition, to the cloud. So we select this. We have our public IP, right? If we come here, we have our IAM role attached already. Security group is here under security. Our inbound rules, they are all intact, right? We'll come to networking. We'll see our VPC. That's our VPC there. This is our subnet, is a public subnet, and all that stuff. So we are intact, we are good. Our key pair, we can scroll down a little bit here and we'll see our key pair. So let's move on. Well, let's connect. First thing we need to do is to change to CH mode, right? 400, but I've done it on this my very key pair, so I don't need to do it again. But what you have to do there is to come to your terminal. I use a Mac, so by default my terminal I can SSH into my EC2 from my terminal. I don't need POTI. So what you normally do is to take your you copy it and then you paste it on your terminal. You go to the location, you CD to the location where your key pair is, and then you paste this command, and then it will give you permissions, and then before you come back to your example code, which is this, and we copy this.
Sorry, 1 minute. Don't think
Sorry?
do this handsome because don't think you need to do this handsome at your time.
Let me do this. Let me do it. Yeah, let me do it. So I'll copy this first. Even if I do this 10 times, I've already done it, but I'll copy this first. So I'll share my terminal now. Oh, sorry, wait. Okay, that's my terminal. Is everybody seeing my terminal?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Okay, good. So this is by default. That's my terminal.
Okay, sorry, please. How did you get your terminal? I'm so sorry, please.
Go ahead.
How did you get here?
Oh, okay. So I'll go back to my desktop.
It's a Mac. First of all, act like it's using Mac.
I'm using Mac. So what do I do here to get to that place? Okay, on my Mac, because this is Mac now, I hold my command and my space bar to open my search environment, and I type terminal. So this application will come out. It comes with every Mac by default, your terminal.
Okay, so on CMD, I can on Windows, I can just type CMD, just the normal.
that's your regular this thing in your Windows. What's that? Your command prompt,
CMD.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Command prompt, yes. I can
yeah,
use that.
but Mac's own is built with Unix, which is Linux. But your command prompt is all built with that. So that's why you use Putty and all that stuff. But I think in the most recent Windows, you
Yeah.
don't need all anymore.
I think I posted a video on how to SSH with command prompts on the group chat. I don't know if most of you seen it.
Okay. So
Yeah, I don't know.
so let's do the first thing I need to do is CD into my desktop because that's where I have my keypad, right? And then I paste uh, the right. It's done.
Your pen
I
file.
come back to my instance. Huh?
It's okay, go on.
Yeah, I come back to my instance, in the window there. I copy the other where you have your example. I copy the command. I paste that, right? And I hit enter. And then I'll enter yes. So we are inside our EC2. Okay, so I go to my root. I sudo so that I get to my root, and then this is where the tough work starts. So the first thing I need to do is to get my PHP.
Sorry, you can't see your screen.
No, I'll be taking the command.
Am I the only one?
You can't.
I think it's just from your end. The screen is showing.
Okay. Okay.
The screen is showing, yeah, you can see the screen from
Okay. So we run the command to provision PHP, copy this. All this, I have them already, so you will have it, right? We'll clean our metadata. I'll copy the next one too, so that when I clean, I can go back. Great. I'll install this and I'll enter yes by default. Good. I'll install our HTTP. Enter yes. I'll enable it. Right. And I'll start it. So if I say system CTL status HTTPD, you will see it's active, is running, is enabled. Right, it is enabled and it's running. So whenever I stop the server and I start the server again, by default, because I have started HTTPD and I've enabled it, it will start. It's a daemon, so it will just start by itself. So okay, so if you look here, you'll see our SSH is up. It's listening. You see our SSH TCP, sorry, is listening, is active. Are you seeing that? Our HTTP is also this. Sorry, this is the one we're looking at. This for IPv6. So right, see our SSH is there. Is active. So because that's what that's how we got into this place. So let's go, let's leave here. Let's move on to the next. Now I'm going to go to where we have our CD, into where we have where we should have our WordPress file, right? Which is this. Okay, and I will pull out the web. I will download the web files from the internet, from WordPress website. It's a tar file. Good. I will also can you see the screen? Can you see in my terminal?
Sure,
Yes.
fine.
Yes, okay, good.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I will untie it, right? This is the name of the file. That's why I'm using the file we just downloaded. It's called the latest WordPress. So we are done. I'll copy recursively, which means everything inside. Okay, let me just show you something. If I ls now, you see that I have unzipped it on here, right? This is what we've been able to get out of it. So I want to copy everything inside here and put it in this directory. I don't want it to be inside there. So that's what I want to do now. So that, yeah, so I'll copy recursively WordPress, right? Every single thing inside. And I'm bringing it to var www.html, right? Good. So if I ls now, you see all the files now will be added to these ones. See that we have much files. I need to take away this. I'm done with this and I'm done with this. I need to take them out, right? So I'll remove also recursively and I'll forced removal, right? Let me start with the latest.tar.gz. Remove that. I'll also do the same with WordPress because I don't need it again. Great. If I ls now, they are no longer there. Right? I'll change my permissions 755. Okay. Now let me go back. Before I do this, let me show something quickly. This WP content file is actually where we have stuff that we need to use. So I need to have permissions. I need to have permission to get into that file, you know, so from the internet. So that's why I want to give permission now. Sorry, I need to have root user permission. So that's why I was typing that command, because you will see the name of that file. Okay, I didn't even. All right, so let me do that now. Okay, so means everything inside we have permission now. So now that we are here, let's go back to our instance. Are we seeing the instance? We're seeing this. Are we seeing this? So we are going to launch this instance, right? So I'll hit this. It's going to be HTTP, not HTTPS. Great. We are here now. This is our WordPress file, right? So what we're now going to do is we're going to hit go. You remember that DB name I told you in RDS that you must not forget it. That's the actual name. Let's go back there. I named it DDD or so. So let's go and click. Let's come to configuration. Yes, that's it here, DDD. So we'll use it. The next thing we're going to use is our master username admin and the password, right? So let me populate that. So the name is DDD, the username is admin, the password I used last time was this. Localhost is my RDS endpoint. So come to RDS, come to connectivity and create security. And here is the endpoint, right? So copy it. And then we go and paste it here. And that's all we need to do, and we hit submit. See this file here. What it wants us to do is to copy everything inside here and create a file called wp-config.php, right? So we're going to go back to, we'll copy it. We're going to go back to our instance, our terminal. Back to our terminal, and we're going to, this is the file we want to change, right? We'll delete this file. Right now it's called sample. But what we'll do is we'll create this config, wp config. So instead, what I'll do is I'll vi wp config.php is going to be an empty file. So I paste what we copied, then paste it inside. Now, if I scroll down, you'll see, oh, sorry, let's go up. See the database name, the admin, what all the stuff we put in there, the password, the endpoint. So this directs any information coming to this application to your backend RDS, your MySQL, right? So let's just see. Okay, so okay, so we are there now, right? So let's go back. Where am I? We're on our terminal. So I can leave here, escape full column WQ to save. We are out. The next thing, we need to remove this file. We don't need it anymore because we now have, where is the one we have now? Oh, sorry, let me ls so that you see it. Great. Okay. See, now we now have the actual file. We don't need this one anymore. So I copy this, right? Remove this. So that's it. It's no longer there. So we'll come back to our website. Are we seeing the website?
Installation. Yeah, we are seeing it.
So we hit run installation. So we installed it. I already have a server that is running. That it's already installed. So I'll shut this server down. I'll start the other one because I already installed it there. I just wanted to show you the process, so I'll start this. In fact, what I'll do is I'll still let this one run because there are still other installations I will be doing there. Okay, so this is active, right? So I just want to go straight to just to show that it's working. It's not HTTPS, it's HTTP. Yes, so that's it basically, right? So this is the site. So you can start, doing stuff. I'm not a developer, so this is the end for me. The developers know what to do, and going to and put plugins and all that stuff. So we've been able to provision this, and this is connected to our RDS. So the next step we need to do now, the next step is for us to, let me see, where am I here? Instance. Another instance, I delete this. So we've created a S3 on the instance. Okay, so now what we're going to do is to connect our instance to our S3. So I'm still going to use this, the new one I did, because I've done it in the old one, so I don't want any, so I connect, and I go to my terminal.
Sorry, excuse me.
Yes. What?
Go on, please. Sorry.
Yes, so I'm in my terminal now. I want to continue. Okay, good. So what we now need to do is to bring S3 now. Let S3 be a network file where we will be storing customer data, for security. If you look at okay, I'm not sharing that screen. But the use case tells us that they used S3 for to secure customer files. Let me even read it. I wrote it down in the yes, they said they deployed S3 as a secure file storage resource. So that's why we're doing this. We want stuff that comes in from our application from customers to go into S3. So with that, we need to connect S3, to our application server. Okay, so the first thing we do is we SSH, we've done that, right? And then let's just create a directory, right? Let's say, let me first ls, there's nothing ls. Okay, so let me create a directory, hdx. Let's create a directory. Okay, I'll create the same directory inside the home directory. Let's do this. Okay, good. So we'll cd there. I want to go inside that directory and create files so that we can later go back to S3 and check if those files will appear on S3. That's all I'm just trying to do here. So we'll cd to hdx. And let's create files. Let's create 4, right? So if we ls now, we have 4 files there, right? Great. Okay, so we'll move on. The next thing is for us to install the dependency for us to be able to help us patch S3 to EC2. So in that one, you will get that from Amazon Linux Extras. Okay, and then we'll install the actual file sharing package. Okay, so we are done with this. The next thing is you remember our access key that we did in IAM. We'll bring it here now. So let's echo it into this our password file. There's a file that stores passwords, so that when there will be no prompts for passwords, right? So we are in HDX office. We're working. We're trying to do this thing. That's all we're doing here. So let me echo my access key. I'll go and pull up. You don't need to see this one because the access key is a secret access key. So I'll just, where I downloaded it on my Excel spreadsheet, I'll just copy the first one, right, and paste. Okay. That's the first one. Sorry, full column, and then the second one, which is this, the second one. Great. And then we redirect it to our home. Okay, so that's it. So that's done. We also give permission here. Here, password, the ORD is always not included. That's the way Linux is built. We'll give permission to that file. So next thing we need to do is to hook up our AWS user, right? The user that we gave the inline policy. So to do that, we'll give AWS configure. Once you do that, it will ask you for the access keys. So we pull the first one. Oh. Okay. Pull the first access key. And then we do the same for the secret. Great. Okay, so, and then the default region, if you don't do anything, it will take you to US East 1. We are there already, so I don't need to add anything. If not, all you can just do is to type US East 1. Every other thing, just enter, and that's it. So we've configured the user to be able to access S3. And then we apply this command to synchronize our bucket with the server, right? So we go with AWS S3 sync, right? Path, sorry. HDX is that's where my file is, right? And then I'll sync it to S3. My bucket that I created is in S3 was HBX migration.
Okay, I think you have like 2-3 screen. We are not seeing anything again.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll share it again. Are you seeing now?
Yes, we are seeing this, but what I'm saying is that I think you are working on another screen. Because I'm not seeing the code you are putting. I'm not seeing the script you are writing.
I'm typing it. I'm just typing it now. Everything I'll give it to you now. I said
okay.
Everything you are seeing here, I'll push it to the Telegram group. Yeah, don't worry. This thing is not what anybody can know. You must document it. As I'm talking to you now, I'm looking at what I have documented. So it's not it's not a big deal. So, but you have to follow the process. So now AWS S3, I'm syncing that file I created, which is HDX, to S3, and I'm syncing it to this bucket. Sorry, this directory, to this bucket. That's all I'm just doing there.
Hello, Mr. V. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it possible for us to, is there an alternative way for us to maybe avoid all these aspect, this particular side that you are on now? Is it possible? Or is something we must do as long as we are on this?
Well, if you are
to do it,
would be just a cloud. You may still need it. You know why? You may not need it. Sorry, but if you want to be, a cloud engineer and a DevOps, then you can avoid this for DevOps. And if you leave this, you still meet something like this in Lambda with Python. You still meet it in CloudFormation. You still meet it in Terraform. You understand? So why run away from what you will meet? Why kick the can, ahead? That's just all I'm just trying to. That's why I'm doing this, And I'll give you everything, everything I'm doing here listed in steps. So when you follow it once, if you start talking in an interview, you will know what you are doing now. How I provisioned this, I did that. We're able to go. You don't need to go into all this nitty gritty, but you can give the big details, and someone will know what you have done. So that's why I'm doing this. If not, we would have closed since. Bring WordPress from third party, provision it, job ended. To me, that's not anybody. 10,000 people in India can do it. Even 1 million people there, they can do it. So fine. So this is it. So we are syncing the bucket to S3, right? So we are done. So now we are almost done with this. We just have about 5 steps more, right? So let me go back to S3 and let's check our bucket. Are we in S? Are we there? Are we seeing the bucket?
Yeah.
Right. See, files have popped up. So from my terminal, I can delete files, I can add files, and it will all reflect on S3. So customer private documents can now be directed to S3. We've achieved that for security purposes. We've achieved it, right? So
question here. So
yes.
what about if we have file? Can we upload it to S3 from terminal?
So yes, you can. So let me go back to terminal now. How many files do we have here on S3? 4, right? So I'll take you back to the terminal and we'll create more files. Let me clear screen. Great. So let's create more files, right? Touch. Let's say 1.txt. Right? So we'll go back to S3. See, are we seeing S3? Okay, so I'll refresh. Yeah, it's supposed to come. Okay, I've not finished I jumped the gun. I've not finished. I have like just about 3 stuff left to do. Okay. So I'll just copy the command and I'll paste it so that we are done with this. Then we'll go to Macy. Okay, so let me move on. Once I'm done, you see that it will come out. Those very files will show. Okay, so let's go. Where are we? You're on the screen, right? You're on the internet. So I'll take you out of there. We'll come back to my terminal. Okay, so we'll move. So we're going to create a credential for the S3. So echo. We've done that. Bucket. Okay. Okay. S3 FS. So this now we're going to mount the S3 bucket on as a network storage drive. So that's what we want to do now. So my bucket name is HDX migration. Then the directory we created was that -0 password file is equal to home password is 3fs o non-empty. Let's look at it very well if everything is correct. Okay, we are done. Okay, so okay, so we are done with hooking up that file with S3. So now we're going to go to Macy. For some reason, some of these files are not showing up, but no problem. Let's go to Macy and let's continue. We have, I think, Macy and our Route 53. That's what is left now. So I'll take you back to the console, the browser. That's EC2. This is Macy. So we're in Macy now. So they used Macy in the example. They used Macy for data security services, and here Macy is actually used to protect. What do? We have to create a Macy. We have to hook up Macy to Route 53. Sorry, to S3, so that any sensitive data that is there will be protected, right? And it will alert us. It will tell us, there are some sensitive data in your bucket that doesn't need to go out. Remember that this is a medical company, a health insurance company. So let's upload a file on S3. That's the first thing we need to do. I'll go ahead and maybe I'll delete all these ones. Okay. All right. So we'll upload a file. Before we upload that file, I'll share the file so that everybody will see it. I'll share the file. Or let me create a file. I'll create one just now and then we'll see it. Okay, so these were the access keys before. I can delete these. So in our file, let's just create let's say people log in and what they have is let's say they put their initials RT and then they put maybe their social security number 5563 something, you know, DK 0. Just keep it simple. So let's just leave 3 of them. All right. Okay, so we'll save this as a CSV file. We'll just call it Macy. Let me leave it at, where's my desktop? Okay, no problem. I'll leave it at my downloads. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it on my downloads, Macy. So we've created it. Let's go to our S3. Yeah, so we are in the bucket. This is our bucket. We'll click, we get to the bucket, and we need to upload a file. So we are just simulating, let's say a customer comes, enters his details, right? And we come to, enters his details and okay, that's Macy there. So we upload this file. Okay, it's uploaded. Now we go to Macy. Okay, and then we create a job. We'll go to get started. We'll create a job. Okay. Create a job. Is it because I've created a job before on this? That's why it's showing me all this. Macy costs some money, so but I'm still within the free trial period. Let me see. Okay, no problem. What I'll do is I'll pick another bucket. I'll put that same thing in another bucket so that we can create a job on that one. Maybe I've used, since I've done that, it's not giving me that opportunity. So I come back to my bucket. Let's come here. Let's open this one. This is a web file thing, but I'll upload that same file there. It's macy.csv. I'll open it and I'll upload it. Okay, so this is my bucket web.start. So we'll go back to Macy and I'll select that bucket. So this is come out. Why is it not giving me the option to create? Okay, enable Macy. Why is it not giving me the option? Oh, okay. Okay, so I don't know why it's not working, but let's just see what we can do here. I'll go to my existing bucket from, I see it took me to discovery results. I don't know why. But let's go to my existing buckets and I'll choose the bucket. Okay, I still have that bucket there, but I'll choose the one that I just put that Macy on, right? And I select a key, create a new key. No, let me look at my procedure. Either a scheduled job or one-time job and scroll. It's not giving me it's not giving me the options that I'm supposed to use. It's not. It's not. Well, let's see.
Why we do use this service?
Sorry?
Why we do use this service? The Amazon Maker?
Macy, yeah. Right. Yeah, this use case, this company, this is what they did. Services used when they were, Amazon Macy was one of them. So, and if you look at here, you see, they used Amazon Macy for data security services. So of course, I'd gone through this, to secure, you use it to secure like things like social security number, bank account numbers, things like that, health records, specific stuff like that. So it will blunt.
It's for data security service then.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So so I did it, and I'm surprised that it's not even giving me the option to create a job. I'm supposed to be able to create a job. Well, let's see. Maybe by my account. It's not giving me that option to create a job. Anyway, so we can move on. What we can do here is that we can we can go to Route 53 and just, because Route 53, we don't need Macy for it. So if we cannot create a job, I don't know, I'll go and research why this is not, why it's not, why it's happening like this. But anyway, what happens is that it shows you vulnerabilities, like, these are, like this bucket now is not publicly accessible. There are some files that are not publicly accessible. There are some that are publicly accessible. If you come to my S3, you see that this file, this one I that missing is a public file. You understand? So it may just, so it may tell you that certain things, certain files are exposed, they are vulnerable. So you need to, so it helps you to secure your data. So let's move on to Route 53. For some reason, I don't know why Macy is acting like this. So Route 53, right? This is Route 53. So having helped this company to provision their infrastructure on the cloud, we bought a domain name and we are now going to help them host it, so that all their existing domain name, we're going to now host it on Route 53. I already have one hosted zone, but if you don't have a hosted zone, that's the first thing you will do. You will create a hosted zone. So let me just, let's get there. So I have one. Usually you create a hosted zone, you put your, your name, like www or whatever .com or .org, right? What is it used for? Maybe I'm into retail, fashion retail, whatever, right? Is it going to be public or a private one? If you work in a large company that has an intranet, internal, then they might have a hosted zone that is private, but public facing, and then you click create. So, but I've done that already. I already have one that I've been using. So we need to create a record using that company's, but it's going to be this my web domain name. Create a record, right? So that we can hook it up to the internet. We won't be using that IP address that I was using like this. We won't be using this anymore. That's the reason for Route 53. So we in our hosted zone, we click create a record, and we come here, we take simple routing, we go to next, we define our simple record, and we already have, this is the name we want to use. So we don't use any, in this record name, we leave the subdomain, we don't need it. If I was going to work on S3, for example, this is my S3 bucket that has web dot. Yes, I would have come here to put www web, so that it will marry with that. We're going to use an A record. On that record type, we'll take A record, because A record is for resources like EC2 and all those stuff. We use an A record. And then where you have value traffic, we'll take IP address. And then we'll paste the IP address of the instance. So we'll go back to EC2 and we'll paste the IP address of the instance. We'll copy the IP address and we'll put it there. And that's it. We'll define, we'll create the record, we'll select and create a record. So the record is created. So we view it, we wait for it to be in sync. It's still pending. Just wait for like a minute or so, it will turn. Once it becomes in sync, then we'll use the name and replace this IP. We'll just wait. Yeah, it's in sync now. So the record is active. So this name now is being, this name is being is being resolved. This IP address is being resolved with this name. So let's go back to let's just take a blank one. So all we need to do is HTTP. Okay, the name has even popped up. And then we enter the name. That's it. So it's resolved, and we've been able to get the whole web application up and running. We can advertise our website now, and everybody, you can do it on your own where you are now. Just put the same name in your browser, and the same thing will pop up right now. So if you want, I give you just like 2 minutes or 3 minutes to pull up your browser and type it. Maybe I'll put it in the I'll put it here on the what do you call it now? Telegram. I've posted it on the Telegram. You can just click it and you'll get to this website.
Yeah, it works.
It's working. So, so what have we learned today? Today, we've been able to go to seeing a real life scenario, a case where AWS services were being provisioned to save them millions of dollars. In addition to saving $250,000, HBX is saving nearly 1.8 million annually by using cloud hosting and services in addition to saving this. You understand? So these are points during an interview. I've worked on a project that has saved clients, in the range of in the millions of dollars. I've been able to work on projects like that, and these are projects that in the course of working on this project, I was able to provision an EC2. I was able to deploy the application code in the EC2, provision it in the exact directory. I was able to launch to create a bucket on S3, and I was able to mount S3 as a network file storage for customers who are going to engage our application. By the way, our application was put in a subnet that was internet facing, and I protected and secured the application with a security group that I created. And the security group was only exposed on port 22 to my IP and to the company's their VPN, their virtual private network. They only could access the application from port 22. I exposed port 80 because at that point we didn't create a security certificate in security manager. We didn't create that, so we didn't use HTTPS. But now we can do that. So I exposed port 80 to our client, so everybody can access the application from port 80. I went into the application configuration file, and I was able to hook it up and redirect it to our RDS, which was on our back end in our private subnet. So we were able to do all this. I provisioned an internet gateway and attached it to the VPC so that clients can reach out to our application via our VPC, and we can also update our instances, our private RDS also from our VPC. We can update it, having access to the internet. We were able to also, in the course of doing this, save lots of money for the corporation because we used third-party applications that were already being provisioned in Amazon Marketplace. So we were able to do that. Then we discovered also in the course of building this infrastructure that the company being a healthcare company, had a lot of sensitive information, health records that needed to be kept secure. So because of that, we provisioned Amazon Macy, and we used Macy to secure those sensitive information, client information. We also used S3 to store as a secure place to store files instead of using the regular elastic block storage, which comes with the EC2 instance. So our S3 was being used to log all information that from our clients, and that also was transitioned to enabled when we were creating this database. We discussed with our client extensively, and we were able to find out that they needed a series of backups of the database because of federal government requirements and compliance rules. So we're able to hook up to enable our RDS to have access to S3 for backups. We enabled CloudTrail to monitor our in-house use of this infrastructure so that we could track changes and failures at any point, and we'll be able to troubleshoot issues. And we were able to use CloudWatch. So this is what we did. We have an experience of it right now. What else again? We were able to add an auto-scaling group to our application so that when during times of sudden spikes, our application will be able to scale up and will be able to accommodate the number of clients that will be logging into our website. Having done all that, we were able to resolve our IP address in Route 53 using Route 53 to purchase domain name, which customers are now familiar with, and they really like it because it's a very cool name. By the way, this happened, this is the experience we have. I have, and we have other experiences that other people here they are going to talk about. So, so basically, this is it. I hope you guys like it. It's been a long day, and sorry I took you guys deep into a lot of commands on Linux, but you learn one or two things. I'm going to go right away and post everything we just did on select everything, copy on our Telegram, and so you guys can try it whenever you have the time.
Good job, Ovi. Good job. You just challenge us. This is a big challenge.
Yeah. What we did now takes like a month or two in the real life situation. It's not just a one-day thing. It's a project. It's a month or two. There are some of them I've looked at right now that I'm still thinking I would maybe drop a project out of that. They were supposed to transition in 2 years, but because they leveraged on AWS, it took them 6 months, So, but we're trying to compress all these things, in just 2 or 3 hours, teaching ourselves, So let's not think this is the job. This whole thing we just did, just to provision VPC, can take like 3 weeks of study, brainstorm, because of the security nature of it. I'm not working in, I don't have a job yet, but from my DevOps training, most of the time my trainer will tell me that, look, what I just showed you takes like 3 months to achieve in the real life scenario. Nobody's in a rush to make mistakes. So thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank God.
Sorry, okay.
Yes, I think it's at Abdullah, your there's noise from your end. Yeah, somebody was talking.
Yes, I just want to ask if you can kindly drop your phone number for us. And because of doing it ourselves, if you run into any challenge, maybe we can just leave you a call. That's love. You wouldn't mind, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Hello,
dropping it
Mr.
on
Hello,
Telegram.
Mr.
Go ahead.
Okay. Can you please drop the bootstrap code for me on Telegram?
I think I dropped it already, but I will. Oh, see me. I put this thing in the.
The bootcamp what? What bootcamp?
No,
Bootstrap.
the AWS link. The AWS link. I put it already. I will. What I will do is let me scroll down there. I'll just I'll just
Okay, I
respond
think
to
it's
it.
on.
Yes.
See, it's fine.
There are hundreds of
Yeah,
issues there of cases that have been solved.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My God. So somebody needs to volunteer to do something by maybe next week so that we can move on. If we are serious with this, by the time we're at the 10th project, you'll be a working cloud engineer. There's anything you say, people will be shocked. Where you follow this thing? What do you? How did you?
Okay.
Where are you located, please?
I have
Where are you located?
spoken with Raphael. Raphael is going to take us on one project on Monday. So while we keep working with Follow Shola, but Raphael has accepted that he would be leading a project on Monday.
That's great.
Okay, Raphael is here. Hello,
Yeah,
Raphael.
I'm here with you, Mr. Obie. Please, where are you located?
Yes.
Where are you located? Did I mute?
I'm in Warri, Nigeria.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right.
But I mean, anybody can reach me. I'll put my number there.
It's cool.
Raphael, are you in the US?